How do differentials in power and voice, both economic and political, affect individuals? According to our textbook, Human Behavior in the Larger Social Environment, um, officials in the United States are predominantly white men. Women and people of color are significantly underrepresented in elective office at all levels in proportion to their numbers in the general population. In addition, one third of African American children, 39.1%, and Hispanic children, 35%, live in poverty, according to the 2010 Census Bureau report. The poverty rate for families with children headed by single moms is also at 40.7%. So this just goes to show that there is a difference in power and in voice among these groups. When the predominant voice for elected officials is white men, women are underrepresented with their voice, and as well as with people of color. So since we don't have since we don't have more women, and since we don't have more BIPOC individuals that are in public office, we have less policies getting pushed through that can benefit these groups. For example, it also stated that when there are women in office, that they tend to focus on women's rights, reproductive rights, and things of that nature. It could also be understood that the same is true for people of color that also hold office, that is part of their agenda also. So in order to change that, we have to have more diverse representation in political office. Vulnerable populations are particularly susceptible to economic shifts. The fact that vulnerable populations are particularly susceptible to these shifts has to always be at the forefront of our minds as social workers. We cannot have the outlook that our client or the family we are serving is lazy or unmotivated. We have to also bear in mind the system, the economy, that may not be built to support them adequately. That is definitely something that we have to keep in the forefront of our minds, that if we are serving a person of color, if we are serving a woman, if we are serving an immigrant, if just, the list kind of goes on there, that there are less resources and less supports in place that will benefit these groups. And so we have to be creative in finding solutions for their barriers that they are facing. And the link between the government and economy affects the daily lives of individuals in many ways. One of them is the government assistance that different groups are able to take advantage of. For example, the rich are able to benefit from tax reductions. The middle class is allowed to have home mortgage interest deductions, and the poor and near poor are able to receive welfare grants such as TANF, food benefits, and Medicaid. However, it definitely should be noted that the government assistance that the poor receive, such as welfare grants, food stamps, and Medicaid, are substantially lower in value and monetary value than the tax deductions that the rich are obtaining from the government. Thank you.